Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Tea and Tarot with Will and Kate. So I am Kate, also known as the Daily Tarot Girl, and I am joined by my tarot friend Will from Atypical Tarot. Welcome, Will. And
Thank you.
we're going to be doing some readings for you today. So if you're here, make sure that you leave us a comment, say hello. If you want us to pull a card for you, if you have a specific issue or question, or if you just want a general card pull, let us know in the comments. Okay, so I have a couple things to mention before we dive in. So first thing I want to say is I have two tarot decks here with me. I have the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, which is my newest deck. And I also have the Everyday Witch Tarot that I'm going to be reading with. What deck have you chosen today, Will?
Well, you know what? I wanted to do something different, and I thought I would use an oracle deck. And we haven't done that. We haven't used them before, and I don't know. I just felt like I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I
I'm
do have a
excited
regular.
about that. I think that's really nice because I'm using tarot, you're using oracle. That kind of gives like a different sort of flavor. I like that.
Okay. Well, I have the Dreaming Song.
Ooh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. Then get to kind of take a look at that one. And then I have Desert Illuminations Tarot. This is more RWS. So just in case I do want to switch,
Mm-hmm.
I'll switch that. But I've been using these spread decks, and
Ooh.
I just use them in combination with the card to give me a little more, I guess, structure.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been very helpful. So with the oracle card I pull, I'll just have that card in the background as kind of just to provide just a small bit of background for the card, so we have more to go off of. It just
Yeah.
helps me a little bit. Yeah, just makes it a
Yeah.
little bit easier. And
Nice.
so yeah, let's see how it goes.
Okay, sounds good. I have a big chunk of rose quartz. I've been using crystals a lot lately, and I know you're kind of into crystals too, Will.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever done a crystal grid?
Yes, I have. I did one not too long ago. I had it on my desk for a while, and I had like a lot of red crystals in there because I was trying to connect with that color and that energy a little bit. But
Yeah.
it was really cool to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you find it was effective? Like, did it work for you?
I think so. I didn't think about it that much, and I did reflect on it a little bit, but it's something I think I need to do more because it was just
Yeah.
the first time and just trying it. And I think it's one of those things, kind of like with meditation or with any sort of practice, it's you have to continue to do it, like lucid dreaming or any
Oh,
type of shadow work and stuff like that. I think it's for me, it's going to be one of those processes where the more I do it, the more I'll see the benefits. But I didn't see a lot when I did it this time. But that doesn't mean
okay.
that that doesn't mean that nothing happened. It
Yeah.
just means that I want to continue to explore it.
So I just did a crystal grid on Wednesday, and it's the first time I've ever used a crystal grid. It's funny because when I first learned Reiki, like way back in 2010, I think, 2010, 2011, my Reiki teacher was so into crystals, and she was always talking about crystal grids. And she always had all these crystal grids set up around her house, and she was always talking about it. And yet I never really like asked about it or like looked into it or tried it. It was just kind of like in my mind. And then I was in a crystal store the other day and there was this book on crystal grids, and I started flipping through it and I'm like, oh my God, I really want to do this. So I got the book. I read the whole book. It was just like there's not a lot to it. It's a short book. And I did my first crystal grid on Wednesday, and I'm doing it to manifest a more active, exciting social life, because I feel like my social
Mhm.
life has been nearly non-existent, or at least it's felt non-existent for the last like 2 or 3 months. Last couple months it's felt like not too active. So so I did the grid on Wednesday, not even realizing that it was a full moon. So I was like, oh cool, it's going to be on a full moon. So I realized that after that it was a full moon that I did it on. And so far nothing has happened in my social life. I mean, it's only been a few days, but all the other areas of my life that needed work, that I was like debating, like, should I do a crystal grid about this thing or that thing? And then I decided on the social life thing. But all the other areas of my life have all of a sudden picked up, except my social life is still the same. So I don't know. Maybe it worked, but in like an opposite kind of way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, or it could just be that by working on yourself in these other areas, then that'll influence the social life too. So,
Okay, I'm gonna read some comments here.
mhm.
So hello, My Luck Smiles. So My Luck Smiles says I use both tarot and oracle. And they use the oracle cards to expand. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, let me just get rid of this comment here. All right. Vayana says, I would love a card as a general advice from the universe. Okay, so I'll read through these. We'll choose someone to start with. So hello, Dawn. Welcome, Lizzie from Ohio. Vienna. Hello, everyone. Black Widow. Hello. Okay. So before we dive into the readings, I want to tell you about an upcoming event class that I have. It's called Tarot Journal Jam Sessions, and it starts next Monday, so November 17th. So if you sign up, you get 4 live tarot journal jam sessions where I walk you through my favorite process for tarot journaling. And you also get the replays of those live events. It's a lot of fun. This is a new offering that I have, and I'm just finishing up the first round of journal jams. So I've done 3 so far and have the last one. Sorry, I know this is totally confusing. I said this was a new thing. I'm like, okay, so it was a new thing like a month ago. So I decided to offer tarot journaling as a live event. And we've done 3 sessions. We have 1 more to go. And it has been so much fun. And I can't believe how far I've come in my journaling practice. Even though I've been journaling for years, there's something about like meeting with a group of people in that like group energy and just holding that space and journaling for a whole hour and pulling cards and stuff that's really special. So it's been so much fun. And so like they're coming to an end. I thought, I don't want this to end. I want to keep going. So I'm offering another 4 live sessions. If anyone wants to join and check it out, I'm going to put the link in the chat and you can check it out. Okay. And if anyone has any questions about that for me, feel free to ask. Okay. Will, do you want to start with doing the reading or do you want me to start?
You can go ahead and start. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'll choose someone. And then how do you want to do it? Do you want to, why don't we alternate choosing a person and pulling a card for them? Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah, that works.
And then if I'm reading for someone, you're like, oh, I want to pull a card for this person too, or something, like feel free.
Okay.
Do
No
whatever you
problem.
like. Okay. I'm going to do this one. Okay, so Vayana. I would love a card as a general advice from the universe. Okay. So I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot for your reading, and I'm just going to shuffle my cards. Okay, general advice from the universe for Vayana. And you got, ooh, King of Pentacles. Okay. So this is a nice card to get because there's chocolate cake and wine on it. I love that. So the general advice of the King of Pentacles, number 1 is to relax. When you are relaxed, you are more like a abundance magnet. The more you are at ease and relaxed in your life. That is the secret to the King of Pentacles' success in everything, is he has this kind of confidence, but it's not this like blustery in your face, obnoxious kind of confidence. he's ambitious, but he's not like obnoxious about it. He's kind of like laid back and relaxed. He's comfortable in who he is. He's comfortable about, what is important to him, what his values are. And he just kind of floats through life, kind of magnetizing the things that he needs to him. And he knows how to enjoy himself and how to kick back and just enjoy living in a physical world. Like he's got his glass of wine, he's got his chocolate cake, he's surrounded by animals and nature. He just really is enjoying himself. So that is the message from the universe, is to relax. Whatever it is that you've got going on in your life right now, whatever stage you're in or phase that you're in, the King of Pentacles tells you to relax. Like, can you relax a little bit more? Can you kind of let go of, I'm trying to think of the right word here. Just letting go of trying too hard. The King of Pentacles doesn't try too hard. So relaxing, enjoying the more sensual side of life, making sure that you make time to enjoy good food, making sure that you have enough leisure time. And everyone is so different in how much leisure time they need to thrive. Some people need a lot. Some people just need a little bit of like quality leisure time. So just finding that sweet spot and celebrating life. Like that's another message of the King of Pentacles. Now, if there's anything that you're worried about or anything like that, King of Pentacles will say, like, when this card comes up in a reading, he's saying, like, you've got this, you can do it, you're capable, you can get through it, you can achieve it, whatever it is that you're trying to do. But ultimately, the message here is about having confidence in yourself, relaxing, letting go, and enjoying yourself. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Vienna. I hope that was helpful. I hope that resonated. Will, who are you going to draw a card for?
Let's see. There's one that says, I think it's down Colombo. Hello, would love a general reading.
Oh, yes. Okay.
All right. Oh, it said dawn. Sorry. It's hard for me to see because I have this kind of my screen a little too far. I have to change that next time and put it closer.
Okay.
I don't want to mess anything up right now, though. Create
Yeah.
a disaster.
You press a button and you're poof, gone.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that's funny. For the background of this card, for the spread deck, I got the word general.
That makes
So
sense.
this will be very general, like you want. All right. Funny. And so we got this card, which says fall, fly. No, it says fall, fail, fly. And you kind of have this person with an egg. They're holding this egg and something's growing, like a plant's growing from it. And I think it's just about learning from our experiences and mistakes. So you fall, you fail, but then you can fly. I think that for me, those things are important for living in the physical world, learning from just reflecting on things that we've done in the past, mistakes or successes that we've had, and applying that to our lives. I think that's always a good thing to do. I think the most important thing, though, is taking those experiences, and the whole fly part about it is remembering something about our core nature and who we are. Because lessons are great for our physical existence, but I think beyond that, there's also more to life, and then going and reflecting inward and into our subconscious world, I think, is also important. And so I think this card is just basically telling you in general that if you make mistakes, it's okay. And to just learn from those experiences and to continue to push forward. And it'll always help you remember and teach you something. So that's kind of what I get from that. Yeah.
Dawn shared that her nickname is Little General.
Ah. Oh, interesting. Wow. Well, that was perfect. I love that. That's cool.
Okay, I'm going to pull a card from a different deck now. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go back and forth between these two decks. So this is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. Have you ever seen this deck, Will? It's got like gold, little bits of gold in all the cards.
I have not seen it in person, but that's really cool. I can see the reflection coming off of it. That's
Yeah,
nice.
it's
I've heard
very,
of it. I don't have that one though.
yeah, it's beautiful. Okay.
Who is it
Okay.
from again?
It's the artist is I think it's a Lo Scarabeo. Yeah, Lo Scarabeo is the publisher, and the artist is Julia F. Massaglia. I'll just
Okay.
show it to you. I don't know if you can see that. You can't really
Oh
see
yeah.
it.
No, no.
That's her name, Julia. All right. Okay, so Dawn said thank you. That makes so much sense. Cool. All right. I'm gonna choose Summer Breeze. Okay, this is a depressing question, which I can't say as I can relate because my energy bill hasn't gone up recently, but I can relate to that panicky feeling when all your bills start to climb. So hi, Kate and Will. Could I have a reading on a current inflated energy billing situation? Oh, okay. This is a specific, okay. A current inflated energy billing situation and what I need to know. Many thanks. All right. Okay. Yes. I will pull a card for you. What you need to know about this. Okay. Ooh, the world. Okay, this is very pretty. This is a very pretty card. Okay, so I feel like this situation, you're going to be able to resolve it. So I don't like making predictions because I'm not very good at them. So take what I say with a grain of salt. But the
Yeah, me
world is it's a good card to get. I feel like the world is about something coming to a completion, kind of tying up loose ends, achieving something kind of coming to an end. And it's also about integration. So we see on the world, we have the four corners, and the four corners have four different creatures. We've got a human, we have an eagle, a lion, and a bull. Yeah. And they represent the four suits. So the earth, air, fire, water, and then, the four suits of the tarot. And it's about integrating all those different aspects of self, all those different aspects of life. But I'm trying to think, well, how does that relate to your question about your current situation with the inflated energy billing? So one thing I think that stands out to me, there's two things that stand out to me with the world card. Number one is that this is a card of openness. This isn't a card of being defensive or guarded. She's almost completely naked, and her stance and her arm posture is one of openness. And it almost looks like she's about to step through this portal. I always see that circle around her like a portal. So a couple of tips I can give you just from this card is when you're communicating with the energy company about this inflated bill, being like not getting defensive, like being very calm, very open, very which is really hard. I think sometimes when you're dealing with stuff like this, you get kind of defensive and you're kind of like, you pick up the phone, you're kind of like ready to do battle. But the world is saying, come at it with a softer approach. And then the other thing that stands out to me about the world is about connections beyond space and time, and this idea that that we aren't limited when it comes to connection and understanding. We aren't limited by physical distance. And it also makes me think that there's all kinds of different energies and things happening in the world around us that we don't really understand. And trying to tie this together, I feel like I'm just kind of talking here and saying things, but it's tricky when you have a card. I'm like, I'm getting all this different bits of information, but I'm like, how does this information tie together? And how does it tie back to the original question? Okay. What I'm getting, Summer Breeze, from this card is that things are happening under the surface or above the surface that you might not be aware of. And I think for you, things are going to all work out in the end, maybe not immediately. It might take a little bit of time, but trusting, kind of being open, are things that are going to help you in this situation. So I don't know if that was helpful, but I hope it was somewhat helpful. So thanks for letting me read for you.
Cool. Yeah, the
Yeah.
world's such a huge card.
Yeah,
So
it
much
is.
to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. And who was that again? I forgot the name though.
Oh, that I was just reading for?
Yeah.
Summer Breeze.
Okay. Because there was another one that says Breeze.
Yeah, it's a different person. Breeze Amatrine is a different person.
Okay. We'll do that. I'll do that one.
Okay.
So it says, hello, please. Can I have a reading regarding my purpose and career? Okay. So the background card we have is intuition. And so your purpose and your career, I'm getting that use your, like, intuitively, what do you feel? Like, what do you feel drawn to? Is what I'm getting. And also there are some careers that rely more on intuition than others. Following your gut, following your feelings, careers that are, I think, in tune with, that are good with people that are in tune with nature, in tune with how they feel and their feelings. So the next card we get, right, so we have this one. It says, tend the roots of reciprocity. And I think with this card, with intuition, it makes me think that the things in your life that you've given your energy to and that feel right for you, those are the things that will give back. So your purpose is to continue to, give to the world, to put as much out there, and those roots will grow and they'll become something, and that'll also give back. So I think that's a good purpose for all of us, to look outside of ourselves, to do things in the world that are helpful and what we feel is helpful. And I think part of that involves your intuition. So careers that involve maybe counseling and talking to people, because you might have a good intuitive feel of what might be going on, or even some sort of detective work where you have to go with your gut or your feelings, those kinds of things. Or maybe even a teacher who needs to deal with students that have all kinds of different things going on. So those could be some things. And then as far as purpose in general, just continue giving and putting that energy out there. And then this card talks about reciprocity. So then those ideas, and it'll become more clear what that purpose is and what direction you should go in.
Nice. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull a card for ooh. I think I want to try this one. Okay, Blue Band Days. May I please have a career reading as well? Okay. So I've got my Everyday Witch Tarot deck here. Career reading. Okay. Ooh, strength. All right. Okay, so we have strength, which is number 8 in the major arcana. And in terms of career, there's a bunch of different messages coming at me again. That seems to be my experience so far today with these cards. I get a bunch of different stuff coming at me. Okay, so number 1, it feels like you might be being kind of hard on yourself lately about your career. So I don't know if you've been like beating yourself up saying, my career should be better than it is at this point in my life or something like that. It feels like there's a little bit of like dissatisfaction in some way, and you're kind of blaming yourself and being really hard on yourself. So strength is here to really encourage you and to advise you to be very gentle with yourself when it comes to career. Being gentle and compassionate with yourself when it comes to career and your life's work. And I don't know where you're at in your career right now, if you're like super clear on life purpose and what you want to do in the world, or if you're still figuring that out. I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, strength is saying, if you can be compassionate with yourself and gentle with yourself about where you're at, that's actually going to allow you to blossom more fully and figure things out. So you're not going to make big changes and figure things out by beating yourself up or by being hard on yourself or by like forcing yourself to do things. Like that approach is not going to get you the results that you really want. You're going to get the results you want, and you're going to find more clarity by really having compassion for yourself and being gentle for yourself. So the other thing I get too is that, and I'll tell you why I say this. Okay, so I'm noticing in the background we have a tornado happening, and it looks like she's got her magic wand, and it looks like she's kind of manifesting, creating this tornado, like she's summoning the tornado. And so what that tells me is that you're more powerful than you realize when it comes to affecting your career and, getting out there in the world and doing your work in the world. You have so much more power than you realize. And part of why you're going through what you're going through right now, whatever it is that you're going through, part of that is to recognize your own power. And so you can be powerful in the way that you choose to use your attention. So what you put your attention on is one way of how you exercise your power. Taking action, that's another way of exercising your power. Belief and mindset, that's another component. And then of course the heart, bringing the heart into it, feeling that, bringing your heart into your career and the work that you do in the world is what is going to supercharge it. So all of that were messages that came through with this card. So hopefully there's something in there that is helpful, something in there that resonates with you. And thank you so much for letting me read for you.
Cool, that's cool. Okay, let's see. How about around 12, 13? Lizzie, did we do that one? I don't think we did.
Let's see. Yes, okay. There you go.
All right, so it says, may I please have a card about a long-term friendship that has become difficult? Okay. All right, so the card that we got as our background card here is called Past. And your oracle card Your card says court the feminine. So maybe there's something that needs to be nurtured. There's something in the past that was not a part of this relationship, this friendship. There's a missing ingredient, I think. Sometimes when things just don't work out, there was something that was lacking in the foundation. And I think that this is a fit. This is something that is nurturing. Kind of, I'm thinking of the Empress card with this card for some reason. And it says court the feminine. So I'm thinking tap more into the feminine, I guess the feminine side of yourself for answers to what could be done. I don't know that this is I don't think this has to do with this being male or female or the friendship having anything to do with that. It's just more an ingredient that I think needed to be added. I don't know specifically what that ingredient is, but the fact that I got the card that says past, that means that it was just not there. And I don't know that this is something that caused the friendship to become difficult like suddenly, like at the end. I think it was something that built up from something that was lacking and that needs to be added back in. So whatever situation might be going on, there's a deeper part of it that I feel is rooted into the structure of that friendship. It goes beyond whatever you were arguing about or whatever is causing this rift. I think it goes beyond that. So I'm getting the feeling that this is something that you'll probably have to really reflect on. And I think in a, within a feminine lens. And sometimes I don't like to use the terms masculine and feminine when I'm talking about relationships, and I just think that they're just a combination of all energies. But I think in this case, there was some sort of feminine aspect that I think was just not there, and I think this deck is just trying to be upfront about that and honest about it. And it's not always easy to give a message that kind of looks at things from one perspective or another. But sometimes things can be lopsided in our lives where we have to balance a certain energy out. So that could be the case. I think when I talk to a lot of my male friends, I feel like sometimes the energy of the conversation might go too masculine. And I'm like, and I don't feel very connected to the conversation because I might not want to talk about cars and football. Not to say that that's just masculine thing. That's not tied to the world of masculinity, but I don't know. I think that there are softer things that I could talk to with my male friends that will be helpful for us to grow. It'll be helpful for us to figure out things about ourselves that can help us heal and not to just bury those things and repress them in our subconscious mind. And so there could be something missing here that's causing some emotion to be buried. And so that was kind of a long-winded one, but I felt like I wanted to give you as much as I could because I know that this friendship probably means a lot to you. Or you definitely wouldn't be asking the question.
I want to jump in because I was drawn to this question when you chose it. And as you were talking, I'm like, I want to see what my tarot deck has to say about this as well. So I drew a card. So
Oh,
I
cool.
want to
All
I
right.
want to jump in. So I got the Six of Pentacles. What was the name of the card you got, Will?
Oh, I put it back in the deck. Let me see. Oh, Court the Feminine.
Court the Feminine. Okay. So I got the Six of Pentacles. And so I'm going to kind of go in a different direction with this. But I think both what Will said and what I say will probably make a bit of sense together, hopefully, even though I'm probably going to say something a bit different. So Six of Pentacles is so interesting in a reading about friendship because it's all about balance. We see there's scales here, and it's that balance between giving and receiving. And we have the rich guy who's like kind of tossing coins at these poor people who are begging. And so what I'm getting here is that there may be a bit of an imbalance in the friendship. It might feel like one of you wants to be friends more than the other. Like one of you values the relationship more. than the other person. And it might feel like there is this almost an imbalance of power, or it might feel like one of you is doing all of the giving and giving a lot to the relationship, and the other person is either doing all of the taking, or they're just not super present in the friendship. Like they're just not there. And so I think you have to look at the friendship and think like, okay, what areas of this friendship feel out of balance? Am I giving more to this person than I'm getting back? Does it feel like there isn't that balance? And there's something else about this too. It feels like there's something that you want from this relationship that you're not getting. And I think that it's telling you to maybe take a step back and see if you can get that thing somewhere else, so that you're not putting that much pressure on the relationship. But yeah, looking at the relationship and asking like, what has mine, you said it's a long-term friendship, and ask yourself, what has been your experience in that long-term friendship over the years when it comes to giving and receiving? Are you more comfortable being in giving mode in that friendship, or are you more comfortable being the one receiving, or being the more passive one? Because it feels like one of you is the more active friend and one is more passive. And it's like that dynamic just isn't working for this relationship anymore. And so there's two different things. Well, there's three things that can happen there. Number one is that you kind of navigate this time and you change the things that need to change so that the friendship continues, but the dynamic and the way that it is changes, or the relationship comes to an end because change maybe isn't possible, or you just kind of go on as you have been and it continues to be frustrating. But it feels like you're being challenged here to change the dynamic in the relationship as it relates to the one of you being the more active kind of giving one, and one of you being kind of the more passive one. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense and that resonated. Hopefully what me and Will said kind of combined is going to be helpful for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the masculine and feminine thing, it makes more sense now to me too. One's more giving, one's more on the receptive, and more on the giving, and maybe that
Yes.
imbalance is what was kind of coming out there too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Do you want to pick another one since I just did that? Just did that reading
No,
too.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moira D. Hello. Welcome. Okay. Oh, and Blue B and Days. This is who I just did the reading for with the strength card, the career reading. They said, earlier this year, my sister told me she had a dream that there was a lion chasing me, and I have come to connect with the lion within me and stop running. That's really cool. So that card did resonate. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for oh, there's one by Chris. Okay, I'm going to do this one. So Chris says, I have a difficult time with letting go, and this has manifested as physical issues, problems. Do you have any guidance for me around how to release? Okay, so I'm going to choose a card from the Everyday Witch Tarot. I'm just going to give this deck a big shuffle. Okay, so how can you release? And it almost sounds like there's a physical component, but also probably an energetic, maybe emotional component as well here. Okay, so the card I have for you, Chris, is King of Pentacles. So this one's come up again. Okay, and when I was reading this card the first time, I think I mentioned kind of letting go and relaxing and being more at ease. But you already know that that's what you want to do. That's not the problem. You're like, how do I do this? How do I let go? Okay. So a few things come to mind. The King of Pentacles, I think of him as being very grounded. So a big part of letting go is you first need to feel safe. So, and if you actually look at this image, he's got vines and things kind of growing around his legs and his ankles, and his feet are on the ground. So grounding is the first step. It's very hard to let go and to release if you don't feel safe and if you don't feel supported. So that's the first step, and that's probably the most important step. And you may find that that's all you need to focus on and work with, and that might, over time, because it doesn't, it's not like this is something you can necessarily solve in one day, but over time you might find that just focusing on grounding your energy and feeling safe and working on that, working on feeling safe, feeling supported so that you can let go and release. That's the most important part here, I think. And everything I say after this won't be as important, but it will kind of add to things. So the other thing is there's a real physical component here about enjoying and celebrating not just the physical body, but the physical realm that you exist in. So, and I'll even go a step further as saying, like, there is a sensuality to the King of Pentacles. He's enjoying his cake and his wine and nature. And so choosing to do that every single day in some way, whether that is just like running a hot bath for yourself and just, really connecting to your body and your physical senses while you soak in that bath, or just going outside and, smelling the roses or something like that, or just consciously slowing down when you're eating and really tasting your food and just being in your body, not in your mind, not anywhere else, not in the future or past, but just in your body while you're eating. That's another way of like connecting to that physicality, and that can help you with grounding. Prioritizing your physical environment right now might be important as well. Like, how can you create a sense of support and safety in the physical environments that you spend the most time in? Like, how can you make those spaces feel like a comforting nest that supports you? So all of that is just secondary to the first thing that I said about grounding and feeling safe. But also one last thing is King of Pentacles, he is not a perfectionist. So letting go and loosening your grip on some of your more perfectionistic tendencies, that is going to be really helpful. And again, if you've been a perfectionist your whole life, that might be hard to do. So it's going to take some time. So just knowing that this is a process, it's not something that has to be achieved overnight. This is a process. But I feel like letting go of perfectionism around diet, around career, around your body, around money, just kind of letting go a little bit. Like, it's good to be organized. It's good to have standards. It's good to try hard and put effort into things. But if you're too much of a perfectionist, it will create so much tension that you just can't let go. So working on those things, I think, over time may be really helpful for you. So thank you so much, Chris, for letting me draw a card for you.
Cool. All right. So there's one at 1225 that says, I think it says Heart Star. I would love a reading. Not been feeling so good lately.
Okay, sorry, what was the time again?
1225.
Okay. Okay. So I've got it up on the screen, and Will, I'm going to make you the main person on the screen because I just have to run to the bathroom. So I'm going to remove myself, but I will be back.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem. All right. So the background card we got here is it says important. So of course your health is important to you, and I guess this we'll see what this card says, but it's always good to, even if you're not feeling well, even if it's something minor, to, if you can, yeah, get it checked out, and just to be on the safe side if you're thinking about it. The card that you got says make space for change. Now, the thing that stands out to me is that there's some water droplets on this card. So I think make sure you're getting enough, just the basic things, water, the right foods, those kinds of things, of course, are going to help. Um, but also, if you haven't been doing certain things that that you feel are healthy, or if something comes to your mind, like I know that I'm eating this or drinking that this card I think is saying, okay, take some steps towards making that change, even if it's something small, because that might help you feel better. Sometimes changing diet can make like a totally different, really big difference. Sometimes cutting down carbs or sugars can boost your energy, but the extent of it, if you're if right now you're feeling okay, but just kind of feeling like low energy or just feeling lethargic, then still it's always a good idea to get that checked out and to make sure that it's not something more. Get some blood work done if you can. And I think that I don't want to be predictive either, but I don't feel like it's something that would be, um, in the short term, an issue. But I do think it's still important. That's why we got this card that says important. So it could be something that over time could have an impact. But I think that right now, if you make the right changes, because this card says it says make space for change. I think that if you make some changes now, that these things they won't be impacting you as much in the future. So yeah, anytime you're not feeling well, it is kind of a signal from our body that something is off, is not in sync with with what it needs. So yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pull a card for. Oh, there's lots to choose from here. So Pantufel OG says, "Hi Will, I love your content. I must take this opportunity to say so since I can't in your comment section." That's right. You don't allow comments in your stuff, right?
No,
It's
but
very mysterious.
I put my email there and my Instagram, and what I found is that there are some people that'll just send me a message or through my email or Instagram, and we've actually become really good friends.
Oh,
And so
nice.
I don't think that would have necessarily happened in the comment section
Right.
because it's so brief. But because it's different, it's a different experience with email and Instagram. Um, I've made some really strong friendships. And
Oh,
so, yeah,
cool.
email me or Instagram me. I don't mind. That's why I put it there in in the description. So, but the comments are just, I did them for so long, and I found that, when I took them away, I just kind of felt better. So I just left them off, and it had nothing to do with like my audience or people, wanting to like not have people comment or anything like that. But I've just gotten so much more out of the other way of communicating with people. So yeah, drop me a line somewhere. And but thank you so much for talking about the content. And by the way, I've been gone for a little while, but I did a video about a deck last week, and then just I'm almost done writing up my information about the moon card, and I should have that video by Tuesday posted. And that's been a good one. I've been on that card for a while, and it's really been helpful. So I'm really looking forward to releasing that one. So. So, but I'll be back, and I have a ton of decks that I got from like publishers and stuff, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to do something. So like I need to do those as well, talk about those. So I will be doing that.
Nice. Okay, so some people are asking, how do we get into the loop of questions? Are questions closed, etc.? Okay, so questions are not closed. They're open for the whole time we're live. So if you have a question or just want a general card pull, just let us know in the comments, and we just randomly select. So we're not taking them in order or anything like that. We're just kind of randomly going through. Okay. So that's how you get into the loop of questions. You just post post your question, and we may or may not select it because we can't read for everybody, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for Moira D. Okay, so Moira, I recognize you. I know you've been to my lives many times before, so welcome back. So you said, I've been thinking of starting a YouTube channel and would appreciate a reading. All right. Okay, so the card I got for you, and this is from the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. Ooh, the Magician. Okay, that's a really nice card to get here. Okay, so you got the Magician. The Magician is saying, if this is what you want to do, go for it. The Magician is saying, take action and just start. So you don't necessarily have to have a whole plan and like have all this stuff figured out. Just start a channel, put up a video, see how it feels, see what happens. You can always like change the theme later on. You know, you don't have to have everything all figured out. So just getting started is the most important piece of advice I have for you with the Magician here. And the Magician is also this is the card of manifestation, and it's such a perfect card for you to get here because the Magician is all about taking something that isn't physical yet, so it's an idea, it's a concept, it's something that's inspired you, and then bringing it down into the physical realm, making it a reality. So you can see how the Magician he's got one arm pointed up to the sky. He's connecting to the unseen realm, the realm of ideas and inspiration. And then he has the other finger pointing down to the ground. And that is the symbol of making it physical, making it a reality. What else do I want to say here? The magician, he's all about taking action, but he's also about being in alignment. So alignment is a key word here with the Magician. So your actions, if your actions and your goals are, you know, in alignment with some sort of higher thing. So if your actions, your desires, your emotions, your words, if everything is kind of in alignment, that will like supercharge you forward. That is going to be super helpful for you. So when you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, think about, why do I want to do this YouTube channel? What is my overall goal? What is the point of this YouTube channel? And really kind of seeing, okay, does this idea align with my higher values? Does this idea of this YouTube channel align with who I am and what's important to me? And when you bring those things into alignment, you are almost ensured a certain amount of success. And the experience will be more rewarding for you. I mean, I get a lot of ideas all the time for things. And I'm like, oh, that would be fun to write this novel about this thing. And then I think about it and I'm like, okay, is this in alignment with what's important to me? And I'm like, not really. It really isn't. So it's like, okay, maybe I won't put my time and attention on that thing. So really considering that concept of alignment. And the Magician is also about stepping into your power. And there's a real creative force with the Magician. It's about seeing yourself as a creator, as someone who has this capacity to create and to make things happen. So really nice omen to get when you're thinking about a new creative project. So good luck to you, Moira. Yeah, and thank you for letting me read for you.
That's a really good card for that question to get. That's a yes, like getting the
Yes,
magician.
yeah.
So, yeah. Mhm. All right. Let's try this one. Um, it's kind of deep. Let's see. It's at 1226,
Okay.
and there's just some letters here. PPJJ 1111.
I've got it. Okay.
All right. So it says, "Hi, can I please know why I'm so naive? Because I just had a guy fool me, making me think he liked me, but in fact he never did. So first of all, before I even pull any cards, I don't think like for a situation like that, I wouldn't say you were naive. I think that people can be very deceptive, and that doesn't need to necessarily fall onto you that you were the one. You know, there are some people that are really good at presenting one thing and not being honest and truthful about it. So that's the first thing. But let's pull a card and see what we get. And we got got the same card as the other one. Important. All right. So your first of all, your feelings are valid. They're important, and I think put yourself, above this situation. You're the most important thing right now, and not to um, downgrade or degrade yourself because of someone else's actions. So I think that's about priority. The card that you get, and we got the same card again, which is Court the Feminine. And so I think like with the same thing with that other relationship, there's this imbalance. I think that you have integrity, they don't. You have a nurturing, passionate side. They might have been more on the narcissistic taking side where they don't really have that empathy for you and the respect that you deserve. So there are going to be people like that. There are people out there that just don't have those same intentions, and that I think it's hard for people that are caring and empathetic to understand a narcissist and how your side does not have that same impact that you would expect. Like you would think that if you treat them nice, that if you're logical, that they'll respond to that, but they don't. They respond to power. And it's a different mindset. And so you're just different from this person. Doesn't mean that you're naive. It just means that you are more willing to be open. You're more willing to be hopeful about a relationship in a situation, and they're more about transaction. You you hit something, Kate, and I think it's okay. There we go. That's better. I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
something
but
bad happening?
but I can hear myself.
Oh,
You did something. You clicked something, and
I
okay,
hit my
okay.
mute button on my microphone, but I've been hitting that off and on throughout.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay now. It's okay now. It was
Really?
just something. It was like reverb. It was
Okay.
reverbing,
Okay,
but
but it's
now it's
not
not.
doing it
Okay.
anymore. Okay.
No, no, no. It's good. Okay, but that's all I had to say about that one.
All right.
But thank you for writing in.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle my Everyday Witch Tarot. So I want to hear, Will, what are the new decks that you received that you're gonna do videos on? If you want to share.
Okay, yeah. So Tarot Emblemata, I got that one.
Okay.
Um, I got a mini version of the Wiser Tarot, and what's the other one? Vision. I think it's Visionary Woman. I forgot the name of that one. I think it's Visionary Woman Tarot. I haven't really spent a lot of time with that one. I need to take a look at it. I
Mm-hmm.
also I also got a book, a tarot spread book that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about that along with these cards, these spread deck cards, because I really
Mm-hmm.
like using them. So I might do a video on that. I just did a video on the Blue Tarot, which is from a creator in the Ukraine that has a Kickstarter. So if you're interested in seeing that, check that video out. And yeah, but then there's just like my regular decks that I've gotten that are new. There's so many of them. Desert Illuminations, which is one of them. There's just a lot of them. Telos
Okay.
777.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's just a ton of I can't even, off the top of my head. It's like I can't I can't think of them. But
Okay.
I have to look at my shelf.
You know what one is on my list that I want to get is the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh Tarot, which the art is, I think, by Anna Touraine, and it was a deck created by Avalon Cameron. And it's coming out with a new, what do you call that? They're publishing it, another edition, it's coming out with
Like
a
a
new
mass
edition.
market. Mhm.
Do you know that tarot deck?
Yeah, I wanted it when it came out. I think it went really quickly when it first
Yeah.
came out, and it was just kind of hard to get. But
Yeah.
like now that it's, I think, coming out mass market, that's definitely on my list. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I loved it, and the only reason I didn't have it is because I'm very bad at, like, when the deck's hard to get or kind of elusive.
Yeah, me too.
I am not the type that can access it. And there's a few decks like that too, where I'm like, I love this deck, but like, how do I even like? It's just too. I don't know.
Yeah.
It has to be on my radar and like something that when I'm looking for a deck, it's just like right there, or else I
Yeah.
just don't. If I
Right,
gotta
right.
search for it, yeah. But no,
Sure.
this one is amazing. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my shopping cart on Amazon. I've stopped for the most part buying stuff on Amazon, and I've started buying my tarot decks, my books through a local bookstore that's in my neighborhood that I can walk to, and it's a very small local bookstore. I love the girl who owns it, and the people that work there are wonderful. And so I've started just ordering stuff through her. And most of the time, like, the reason I started ordering on Amazon is, number one, like, it was harder to get certain books in bookstores before. Like, I'm talking,
Mhm.
over 10 years ago, and Amazon was always like way cheaper. And now it's not. It's like the same price. Anyway, I don't know why I'm saying all this, but I have stuff like in my cart on Amazon, and then when I'm ready to buy it, I will send her an email and be like, "Can you order this for me?"
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
That's a good way to do it.
I'm gonna pull a card for, I think this is Brittany, um, Black Widow. I think this is Brittany. Okay, can I get a reading for what guidance I should heed right now in my life? All right, yeah. And I hope Brittany is still here. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a card. All right, so Brittany, you've got 7 of Swords. Okay, this is kind of a fun card. This is kind of a spicy card. This used to be one of those cards I was always like in fear of and like dreaded getting it because I didn't know how to read it. Then one day it all clicked into place, and now I get excited when this card comes up. So 7 of Swords is saying there's certain areas of your life where you're sort of walking on eggshells and tiptoeing around, and you aren't really being your true, authentic self. And you want to be, but you hold back because you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to upset people. It doesn't necessarily feel safe to be totally bold and out there and yourself in some of these areas. But the 7 of Swords is asking you to identify what areas are these. Now, it might be a particular relationship in your life where you feel like you have to kind of tiptoe around the person and you can't just be yourself. Or it might be a whole area of your life, like maybe when it comes to career or when it comes to creativity or something like that, or spirituality. So 7 of Swords is encouraging you to make bolder moves and to stop tiptoeing around and walking on eggshells and to be a little less afraid of rocking the boat. Now, there's times where maybe tiptoeing around and being very careful is important. And then there's times where you shouldn't do this. So it can be it can really take some intuition to figure out, okay, is now the time to be loud and bold and just really be my authentic self? Or is this a time to kind of hang back and fly under the radar? But the Seven of Swords is saying that the longer you walk on eggshells, the longer you tiptoe around, the longer you avoid rocking the boat, that takes its toll and that drains you of energy. So you don't want to stay in that place for too long. You want to move past it and get back to that place of being yourself, making bold moves, being who you are, asking for what you want, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so that's the advice I get from the Seven of Swords. There's also something funny about this. Like when I look at this card, it looks like this person has like broken into this house through the window and it's not their house. And they're tiptoeing around, kind of creeping around in this house, looking at things, and they're not supposed to be there. And it's this feeling like there's something that you want to do, or something you want to have, or something that you want to explore, but a part of your brain is like, no, I'm not supposed to. And so you have this maybe sense of guilt or a feeling like you have to be sneaky about something. But Seven of Swords is saying you don't actually need to be sneaky about this thing. This is just a mental thing in your head that you need to kind of get past, if that makes sense. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to find a question. I don't think I see one. Let me go back and see if we missed anything. Let me know if you see one, because I'm looking and I'm trying to.
Okay, I'll help you out here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone is here and we haven't read for you and you want us to pull a card, let us know in the comments. Even if you've already typed it like, 20 minutes ago or something, you can retype your question because we probably missed it. Yeah, I feel like we've answered a lot of questions already. Let's see here. Okay. Well, there's a new one. Can I ask a question? Yes. Ask a question. Yeah, and if you're still here and you asked a question earlier and we didn't answer it, just retype it for us. Make it easy for us.
Okay, looking for a job. How does that look for me? Okay,
Do you
I'll do
pick
that.
that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully I don't pull the same cards again. I promise I'm shuffling. All right, let's see. Okay, so the card that we got in the background here, so to support this, is called Attitude. And so I think, sometimes when we're hopeful and we kind of have that mindset, we kind of put that out into the world, that helps to bring things closer to us. It's sort of, I know that's sort of law of attraction-ish, but, and I'm not like super big on that, but still, I think it's helpful. I think it works in some way. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think it can be helpful. I think it's just good to avoid all of the fake gurus out there that try to, manipulate people with that. But still, the card you got. Why does this happen to me all the time when I'm doing these readings with you, Kate? I got the same card, Court the Feminine.
Oh, wow.
I promise. I am shuffling. I am pulling like different parts of the deck. Okay. So you got Attitude and Court the Feminine. So I think being receptive, like for looking for a job, I think that this is about receiving. So I think that I don't want to be too predictive, but I think that there are opportunities coming your way. So I think that feminine aspect of receiving something from the universe, I think that there is potential. So not sure like what type of career you're looking for, but it looks good as far as you getting this court the receptive card. So it's more about something coming towards you than you really putting yourself out there as much. I think that, yeah, it's always good to look and it's always good to search and put yourself out there, but there will be some, I guess, reciprocity with your efforts. So I would say that's a good sign. I would say that you're on the right track with whatever you're doing because there does seem to be something coming towards you. So I would say yes, it looks good. How does it look for you? It looks good.
Very, very clear, very concise reading.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to know more details, but as far as like just like kind of a yes no type of situation, like how does it look? Good as far as the cards that I got for that.
Mhm. Okay, Navina. It's my first time here. Welcome, Navina. So happy to read for you. My question is, how is it going to play out between me and the person I'm going to go on a date with? All right. So I've
Oh,
shuffled
fun.
my Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. And I should say, big disclaimer here, I'm not good at predictive readings. I don't think the future can be predicted, really. I mean, you can sort of predict things that like seem probable. We can look at probabilities and like what's more probable. But in terms of prediction, this is not my strong suit, but I still want to pull a card for you and we'll just see where this card takes us, what this card has to say about this topic. Okay. So the card you got, ooh, Three of Swords. All right. Not a great card, not the most optimistic card to get for a relationship question. So your question was, how is it going to play out between me and the person that I'm going to go on a date with? Now, one thing I would say about the Three of Swords, this is a reality check card. So the Three of Swords, it's a card of stark clarity. So it's like when you're ready to go on a date with someone, maybe, and I don't know if you've been on a date with this person yet, or if this is a first date. It makes me think of when you're going to go on a date with someone and maybe you haven't really met them yet, or you don't know a lot about them. And so you have this whole fantasy of what that person is going to be like, and this idea of kind of what you want them to be like. And then you meet them in person and talk to them for a little bit, and all of your illusions are shattered. And you see this person for who they are, and it doesn't match up to your fantasy. So that, in a nutshell, is what the Three of Swords is about. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say you might have in your head built this person up and have kind of a bit of a fantasy about what they're like. And you might have done a bit of projecting onto this person about what you want this person to be for you. And I don't think they may disappoint you. They may not match up to that ideal that you have in your head. Okay, and you confirmed that you haven't met them yet. So yeah, so I would say, keep an open mind. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Don't let this reading put you off. But go into this with as little preconceived expectations, with as little expectations as possible. Let go of expectations and go into it with an open mind. The less expectations you have for this, the better it will be. I feel like there's something else I want to say here. Yeah, and go into this date not expecting this person to check all the boxes. Don't expect this person to be amazing. And then if they are, it will be a nice surprise. But really go into this date by first removing your rose-colored glasses. That's what the Three of Swords is telling you to do. Take off those rose-colored lenses. And I think when it comes to like meeting people for the first time and first dates, we sometimes have those rose-colored glasses on and we tend to like overlook certain obvious red flags. We want to give the person the benefit of the doubt. We want to, we're hoping for the best. And so sometimes that makes us kind of see things through rose-colored glasses. So Three of Swords is saying, take off those rose-colored glasses for this date. Allow yourself to be very realistic. And then if the date goes well, bonus. But don't have crazy high expectations. That's what I'm getting from this card. But again, take it with a grain of salt.
Cool. Okay.
And she said, oh, clarity is always good. I think I'm feeling pressured by my friend Moore, who introduced us. I want to go in with no expectations, more so because of past mistakes. Yeah, go into it with no expectations. That's what I'm getting from the Three of Swords. I don't feel like the Three of Swords is saying this is going to be a terrible date or you shouldn't do this or anything. I feel like it's just saying take off the rose-colored glasses. Don't have any set expectations. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what about, did we do at one? It says exclusive glow. Name, I think it says exclusive glow.
Okay. What was the timestamp?
I think at like 1:11.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Got it.
All right. So if possible, I wanted to get advice, guidance, possibly insight on my career change with going back to school. There's a fear that comes and goes that I'm living in a fantasy world, pushing me to a 9 to 5. I'm not sure what's meant by fantasy world pushing me to 9 to 5. Do you know?
Let me just read this. Okay. Okay, there's a fear that comes and goes that I'm living in a fantasy world, pushing me to a 9 to 5. No, I don't know what is being said there either.
Maybe they don't want a 9 to 5 and
Right.
they're afraid that they're going to be pushed into a 9 to 5.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's see what we get.
Maybe if exclusive glow is here, let us know. Do you want a 9 to 5 or no? How do you feel about the 9 to 5?
It looks like they're
like the change is a fantasy that I can't obtain. Okay, so the change in career is a fantasy that they can't obtain. Okay. But do you want it to be a 9 to 5 or not a 9 to 5? No, I was previously in a 9 to 5. Okay, so they don't want the 9 to 5, but yeah.
All right, so I don't know how this applies, but the background card you got here is a family member's opinion. So maybe you've gotten some advice on this before, and maybe you want to talk to that family member again, and they might have some clarity about what to do in the situation. Maybe that conversation needs to continue. So that's one thing. Let's see what else. And so you got grow your wishes. So that sounds really good. So that sounds like if you have a fantasy, it's saying to dig into that fantasy and let it grow. So there's nothing wrong with having a fantasy. And maybe the fantasy is a good thing that'll help this thing manifest the way you want it to. So it's good to dream big, and to want those things to happen. So maybe talk to someone else about these goals and see if they can give you some advice, one thing. And then the other thing is to, I think, always hold on to those fantasies and dreams and not feel like they're going to push you in the wrong direction. Because if you feel like your fantasy is going to push you in the wrong direction into a 9 to 5, then you might be putting that energy out there, and it might be actually happening that way because that's on your mind about that fantasy. That fantasy is not good enough to get you past that hurdle. But if you empower that fantasy, empower that magical thinking in a way that puts it above the 9 to 5 and above the situations that you want, then I think you give that idea energy. It's kind of like with any sort of practice we do. We try to put the energy or put our intent into it and then make it something that is above all the obstacles that are in its way. So I think that this deck, both decks are trying to tell you that yeah, continue to talk about it, explore it, and also that, yeah, don't give up on that. I think it's a positive in that sense.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to draw a card for CJ. I would like to know if there's any advice for my housing situation. I'm looking for a house and under pressure, but I feel like just chilling and waiting. Okay. So I've got the Everyday Witch Tarot here. I'm going to draw a card for you. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles is about waiting and being patient. So I think that it sounds like your gut instinct is correct. You just feel like chilling and waiting, even though there's a lot of pressure on you. You feel like just chilling and waiting, and the cards are confirming that this is probably the right thing to do right now. So Seven of Pentacles is about not being in a hurry and knowing that everything is a process. And so just kicking back and enjoying that process and taking your time and being patient. Patience will pay off for you. That's the overall message of the Seven of Pentacles. And there's really nothing more I can say about it. I feel like it really just summed up you are feeling internally, and it's just kind of confirmed that that's the path to take, to not actually be in a huge rush and to be patient, and the right thing will come along at the right time for you, I believe. That's what I'm getting from this card anyhow. Yeah. Thanks for your question. So I'm thinking, well, it's 1:22. How do you feel about doing so we'll each do one more reading and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Does that sound
Yeah,
good?
sounds good. Yep,
Okay.
perfect. Okay. Did we do the one right after the last one I did? Just came back from a trip.
What's the timestamp?
112.
Okay.
All right, so it says, just came back from a trip to break myself out of a rut, and I feel like I'm ready for a change after this break. How do I make sure I keep this momentum going? So that's good that you've gotten to a point where you feel motivated. I like that. I mean, I was in a rut, man, with my videos. I didn't feel very motivated. You know, with all the things going on in the world, I just didn't feel like doing anything with the videos. So yeah, I get it. But glad you're feeling motivated. Let's see how you can keep that up. So we got the word decision. I want to say, take the time to make your choices. Like, even though you have that momentum, don't get ahead of yourself. Still give things some thought, because momentum is great, but it's good that you're asking this question, because it shows that you're reflective, and to continue doing that, to continue to take the time to reflect on your life. Because action is great, but there's a balance. There's always a balance. So let's see what oracle card you get. So you got this card that says abandon worry. So I don't think you need to worry about losing this momentum. I think that you're gonna have it. I think that it kind of contradicts what I just said about not taking action, because when you're not worried, you're more likely to, I think, feel a little bit freer and able to not get so bogged down in all the details. So I think there's a balance between taking action and being reflective. So what I just said is true, like what I said earlier about being reflective is great, but also keeping that momentum. There's a balance there. So I think that that's the thing. I think the thing is, yeah, in order to keep that momentum, be reflective, because if you make some mistakes or if you get discouraged by some bad decision, that might put you back in a rut. It's kind of like you have this great energy and then you fail because you didn't think it through. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I don't want to do anything more because I just keep messing it up. I just keep making mistakes. And so that kind of thing happens sometimes. You know, you have this energy to do something, like create this, I don't know, create some piece of art or whatever. And you rush through it, and then all of a sudden you tear it apart because it just doesn't look like you wanted it to. It just didn't turn out right. But maybe if you would have taken a little bit more time, made some different decisions, it might have been something that was a little bit more, I guess, motivational. Like you look at it and it motivates you it inspires you to do more. I think I've done that like with my channel sometimes. I rush the video and then I've deleted it like 3 months later because I'm like, there were so many things that I wanted that I should have said, or if I would have just taken more time with the card and spent more time with it, I think it would have come out a little bit differently. I did that with the entire major arcana. But anyway, this is about you. So I think that I think that decision, I can only draw from my own experience too. But I think that decision, those decisions are there's a balance between your decisions, and that'll help with the momentum, if that makes any sense.
I noticed, Will, that you deleted a lot of videos from your channel. And I have to say, I've never deleted a video from my channel, which is why it looks like there's so many. And maybe I should probably go back and delete some of the earlier ones because they're probably bad. I haven't watched them. I haven't watched them since I posted them.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that those videos are bad, but I just didn't want to have duplicates. And then I think with some of the videos, there was a point when I got towards the end of my of doing my videos and talking about all the cards where I had a shift in my mindset. And when I look back at where I was a few years ago, I was like, I don't think that way anymore.
Okay.
And a lot of the things that I was talking about were from a lens of more, you know, law of attraction, manifestation. And I thought, I don't want to put that out there because that's not me anymore.
Right.
And so I had to change that. And that's why some of those got deleted.
All right.
And then I just changed my style.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
But
yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do one last reading, and I'm gonna choose Kimberly because it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Kim.
Happy birthday.
Okay. Today is my birthday. That's so special. Okay. I would love a card to show me how to have more fun in the upcoming year. Thanks so much. I love this question.
The pressure is on, Kate. Don't pull the tower.
I feel like I can't screw up this reading. Like, this is such a fun question.
I don't think so.
Okay, how to have more fun in the next year. All right. Okay, so the card I have for you is... okay, such an unfun card. The Four of Cups. Okay, so Four of Cups. The Four of Cups shows someone who's uninspired. He's not really having fun. He's being offered something that he's just not jazzed about. But what the Four of Cups is really telling you is that there's an emotional component here. If you aren't emotionally invested in something, if something doesn't appeal to your more emotional, intuitive feeling side, if it doesn't appeal to your heart, if something doesn't speak to your heart, maybe it only speaks to your mind or your ego or whatever. If it doesn't speak to your heart, it's not going to bring you a ton of satisfaction this year. So this might be the thing you use when you're trying to decide, what am I going to say yes to? What am I going to put my energy into? What kinds of things am I going to pursue? And what kinds of things am I not going to pursue? Ask yourself, is my heart jumping for joy here? What does my heart say? So when you are offered an opportunity, bring that opportunity, take it to your heart. Think, how do I feel on a heart level? Emotionally, how am I responding to this thing? Because sometimes you might be offered an opportunity or there's some sort of possibility and it really appeals to your rational mind. It may really appeal to you intellectually. but your heart just isn't excited about it. You're just not on the emotional side, you just don't feel it. You're not totally jazzed about it. Um, and so that can be kind of the litmus test for how you live your life this year. And I think that's the secret to having more fun is to choose with your heart. That's what I'm getting from this card. Um, and there's also this theme of boredom with this card. And I feel like it's about kind of embracing boredom a little bit, not always trying to fill the gaps and allowing yourself to be a little bit bored. Sometimes that can lead to something. So don't try to avoid boredom this year. And I know that seems weird when you've asked, how can I have more fun this year? So you can have more fun by allowing moments of boredom. Don't try to fill all the gaps. Don't try to fill all the quiet moments with things and stuff and busyness. And paradoxically, that's going to allow you to have more fun overall this year. So hopefully that made sense. So thank you so much for letting me read for you, Kimberly. I hope that was helpful.
It's so funny. I
And
forgot that was her stalker card. That was mine too.
oh, that's your stalker card. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I pulled that card so much this year. I started keeping track in my journal how much I pulled it. I
Really?
pulled all my cards, and that
Mhm.
one, let me see if let me grab it real quick. I'll show you.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to think what my stalker cards have been lately. Not the 4 of Cups. I don't think I've gotten that one lately. Um, there is one card that I just kept getting again and again and again, and I don't remember what it is now. I've written it down in my tarot journal, but it's always interesting when you get a stalker card, especially when it shows up for you repeatedly over a long period of time too. When over a few months, you keep getting that card in all your readings. It's very, very bizarre. Okay, what
Yeah.
card did you find the
All right.
card?
Well, it wasn't a specific card. It was from different decks, but I was keeping track. I don't know if you'll be able to see this because the glare. But like right here, these dots right here,
Okay.
if you see them in comparison to the others, that was the 4 of cups. See
Oh
how
wow,
far I pulled
you have a
ahead?
whole tracking system.
Yeah, yeah. So I just put a little dot. So what I do is I just number it and for the majors, and then number it and put the P, the K, the Q, and the K for the king for the court cards, and just put a dot when I get them, and just color code it.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's interesting though because you can see like what element you're not getting as much of, like which cards never show up. All those things are kind of interesting. Mhm.
Oh, someone reminded me. Okay, so Pantufel OG said, oh no, sorry, Kimberly said, it's your Eight of Swords, Kate from class. Okay, so in my tarot journaling weekly class, I keep pulling the Eight of Swords, and there's a few other people in the class that also keep pulling the Eight of Swords, I believe. And so that actually is my stalker card. That's the one I couldn't remember. I've pulled the Eight of Swords so many times in the last few months. So that's a big one for me.
That is a big one. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
um, yeah. So I should remind everyone, if you want to join me for weekly tarot journaling, I've got a new round of classes starting November 17th. I'm going to put the link in the chat if you want to check it out. It's super fun, and you don't have to come live. You will get um, the replay if you're not there live. It's so much fun. I am having so much fun with it. Will, do you do tarot journaling a lot?
Yeah, actually, this journal right here, I mean, I filled all this stuff out with like tarot readings and yeah.
Ooh,
But remember when we first started talking, I was like, I don't really journal that much. And
yeah.
then after that, I started and I just stuck with it. And I've been journaling like every single day.
Oh, wow.
This is like my third book that I filled up since we
Yeah,
started talking about that because for whatever reason, something changed. I don't know what it was
yeah.
really, but yeah.
S-
You know what I think it was,
What?
to be honest, is and I know it sounds kind of vain or whatever, but I started paying more attention to my actual like what physical journal I was getting and like making it something that I like the feel of, and like the
Mhm.
pen that I got that I liked the way it wrote, and like
Yes.
stickers and all kinds of things that I added in here and using like those Tombow markers. I just kind of, for some reason, got into that too, and it just took off from there. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes when people say, "Oh, your journal can just be whatever, use a ballpoint
Mhm.
pen," and sometimes that works for people, but for me, when I was just using like something that I wasn't really that into, it
Yeah.
it kinda changed my mindset on journaling. So I don't
Oh,
know.
that's
I guess
interesting.
sometimes, like, if you're not able to journal, it might just be just get a fountain pen or get something different. Try something different,
Mhm.
yeah. Mhm.
I like having nice pens to write with. And I do feel like it makes a difference if you have a journal that is a joy to write in. Like I like the ones that have the spiral bound thing so I
Mhm.
can lay it flat.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but when it comes to doing art and like sketching, I do my best sketches in a really crappy dollar store notebook. I have like high quality, nice sketchbooks with good quality paper, and I always get stressed out when I'm drawing in them because I'm like, oh,
Mm.
it has to be good. I'm using this expensive sketchbook. But when I get the like $2 one from the dollar store, I do my best sketches in there. So I
Yeah.
feel like that philosophy of using something kind of shitty, like it works for me in that context. With journaling, I like to have something that does feel nice, like a nice pen or something like that. You know what I found really helpful with my tarot journaling, and I don't know if you've ever tried this, Will, but like I'll ask a question. I'll ask my cards a question or something. And before I draw a card, I'll just sit with that question and I'll ask like my higher self or I'll ask like my spirit guides. And then I'll just kind of channel write for like 5 minutes.
Mm,
Like and just see what comes through. And then I'll choose a card and then see what card it is. And then I'll journal about the card. And I find that that's such an interesting practice.
I do something similar. Like, I just channel write, so all this is just like stream of consciousness, just like sort of like how people do morning pages, but I put the cards, like, next to me, and as I'm, just writing, I incorporate stuff from the cards into my writing. So it's not like I'm specifically writing about, "Oh, this card means this." It's
Mhm.
I'm just writing, and I'll just say, "Oh, as I wrote this, this reminds me of this card that I just pulled, and maybe that's what this means." So I just incorporate it that way. That way, it's not so structured. It's not
Yeah.
I don't taking the structure away kinda helped me just have a flow.
Mhm.
And that really I think that really helped me to
Mhm.
process my thoughts, because it's not just about the reading, it was also about reflecting on my thoughts and, just
Mhm.
letting all that out. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna read some comments here. Okay. Ooh, Kimberly McCurry says, yes, I'm definitely signing up. Yay. Yeah. And so, Kim, you're in my journaling class right now, and you said it's fun. Yeah. um, can I join the class if I have never done tarot before? Absolutely. You don't need to know anything about tarot to do this. Um, you can also use oracle cards as well. You just need a deck of some sort, whether it's tarot or oracle. Um, yeah. And oh, greetings from Calgary, Alberta. Hello. Okay. Okay, so I think it's time to wrap up. How are you feeling about that, Will?
Yeah, I think that's perfect timing. Yeah. It's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, this was nice chit-chatting together. Thank you so much for
Yep.
coming on my channel, and thank you everyone for coming on and hanging out with us, listening to us talk about the cards, and for asking your questions and letting us read for you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll have to do this again. I think traditionally, I feel like we've done this around Christmas every
Yep.
year, or at least we
Mhm.
did last year anyhow. We
Yep.
should do that again, even though I guess Christmas is, like, next month. I was
Yeah.
thinking in
Yeah,
my
we
head it was, like, 3 months from now. I'm like, "Oh, no, it's, like, coming up really soon."
yeah, I think last year we did both. We did, like, around this time and then Christmas again. So, yeah, this
Yeah,
I think we did. Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I'll get you, some times and days.
yeah. That sounds good. Alright. Thanks, everyone, and see you
Thank
later.
you.
Happy tarot reading.
Thank you. Bye.